It was so wet when his eyes grudgingly arose, the rain lightly tapping on the window as his short life seemingly that day started to erode. But unlike every other day of that slow, arduous, toe-curling year, today was the day that he knew he could attempt to make happen, something he didn't have to fear. Because when it started about 3 years ago to this day, a deep melancholy hadn't even been exposed to him yet, but he had this pain, this numb feeling that banged against his head and just wouldn't go away. And sometimes it just niggled at all the energy that he'd saved, that he'd left to expire, whilst at other times it thumped and thudded on his time left, and out of an ember the house again was set on fire. And the best thing this man could do was learn to hide, confide in no one, and learn to abide by the rule of man, which is to keep quiet. Don't cause a fuss, don't make a scene, just learn to fight it. Push it to the very back, because you've got so much more to live for. And let it stay there whilst you go on with your daily chores, like talking to your friends who have families and they seem so assured, and at the end of the day you're laying up in bed listening to the rain and you've got so much more to live for. And that long deep melancholy that was just meant to be a phase. Someone explained it to you once when you were young, it was just meant to be a passing craze, because I think everyone has them days. But it didn't feel like an episode. It went on for a series of long, pre-composed attacks that ate at me, and by the time I knew it was on at me, I hadn't the strength to say the cliche that I was feeling lost out at sea. And to remain chomping at life, to show that I was living the best way that I could try, to regain a bit of normality, I was having a drink on the side, and the drink was going down easier than what was to be expected, and at first it had my mind tested by the ease of happiness that my brain had up to this point always messed with. But the one-for-one swap was hardly the foundation they talk about on how to be happier in 1 month. In fact, that swap wasn't actually a swap at all, it was just another problem to become accustomed to, and before you knew it I was parading the fall without taking the jump. And it may seem pretty straightforward when I put it like that. Hardly a twist in a story or an exciting movie full of glories, because that was just how it was for me. And that was how it went for a long time. Trying to regain what I once had. And I'm sure you'll get there, it's just that everyone's lives at the minute with austerity and the credit crunch is a bit mad. So on I went and I attempted the hustle, and the conclusion I was seeking was hardly round the corner, and my problems were collecting dust, and I wasn't letting go, and I was starting to become a hoarder, and my borders were set high and strong, as I'm sure that I was doing it for her. My mum, my girlfriends, my friends who were girls. Stand tall, remain like a centurion, because man hunts and gathers and brings back the pearls. He doesn't stand alone or feel like I do, and the darkness that was all-consuming was biting at my heels and ready to go through, and any recollection of what it was like to be on the other side was like a memory from another life, because my first move was always to hide. And the day that was always there to be had was with me. And the medicine wasn't there to be had with me. And the station was there with me. And the rain was there with me, and my shoes had lost grip, but they were with me. And I was nowhere to be seen on the outside, but I was there with me.